Now, in a modern business world full of ups and downs, we are able to witness drastic changes in a matter of seconds. And with that possible, we can definitely see that acquisitions became part of our daily lives. Now, speaking of acquisitions, we can never forget the significance of Vodafone AirTouch and the Mannesmann acquisition. Now, since it's been 10 years since British mobile operator Vodafone successfully acquired the German firm, a very well-established firm, a very well-prestigious and well-known firm, Mannesmann, in a hostile takeover worth billions, we can now stop and rethink how did Vodafone end up on top. It was the era of dot-com euphoria and internet hype, where technological advancements was proceeding at a new record pace, and few German companies were in a better position to take advantage of this new trend than Mannesmann. Mannesmann was a Düsseldorf-based firm that originally made a name for itself by producing seamless steel tubes, and in May 1999, Klaus Esser was given the top job at Mannesmann. Esser had long been pushing for a reorientation of the company from an industrial firm to a service and telecommunications provider, seeing that the telecommunications business is booming and expanding. Klaus Esser had plans to exploit such an expansion. And at the time, Mannesmann held controlling interest in D2, Germany's second largest cellular network, which was outperforming all of the company's other segments, and Esser had planned to broaden that success by branching out across Europe. Expansion plans in October 1999 took place. He set heights on his British mobile phone operator Orange, and that's where the story took a dramatic turn that ended with the most expensive takeover in economic history. Rumors quickly spread that Mannesmann itself could be ripe for plucking, and the world's largest mobile operator, Vodafone AirTouch, which already had owned a 34.5% stake in Mannesmann. The first offer came from Vodafone on November 14 that year. It amounted to an estimated 100 billion US, but Klaus Esser refused and called the offer completely inadequate and turned to his shareholders for his support. However, Esser's counterpart at Vodafone CEO Chris Gant pushed his offer higher and higher until Mannesmann shareholders could not say no. And in a world full of war of words, it was easy for the Vodafone sales management or the Vodafone top management to talk in the senior shareholders at Mannesmann into accepting the offer of Vodafone acquiring Mannesmann for 125 billion euros, which is a very large amount of money. However, at the time, Klaus Esser found that it was inadequate and it didn't resemble the true value of Mannesmann, and hence he refused the offer the first time. But however, the shareholders didn't back him up this time with 125 billion euros, more than 25% increase in the first offer. They saw that it was very tempting and it was a great opportunity to partner up or be acquired by such a prestigious company such as Vodafone.
Inorganic growth in the Vodafone Mannesmann merger is a merger, and mergers are transactions in which two companies combine into one entity and company. This means that both companies will operate jointly and cannot act of their own accord. This also means that both companies exist as the same entity, and they erase their past identities to form a new one. Both parties must be willing to partake in the merger. The companies are usually of the same size, so a big company won't merge with a small company. There are a plethora of reasons and motivations for mergers. Most of them are done to expand the reach of both companies and to increase the overall market share and influence on the market. Mergers also come in different forms, and there are many types of different mergers. You have conglomerates, which are the merging of different companies in different industries and markets that are unrelated to each other. Then congeneric mergers, which are mergers that combine two companies in similar industries or overlapping ones. Then there are market extension mergers, which occur between two companies that sell the same product to different markets. Vertical mergers, which combine two companies that make certain parts of the industry. For example, this would be a merger between a company that makes motherboards and a company that makes graphics cards in the computer industry. And finally, we have horizontal mergers. This is what the type of merger that the Vodafone Mannesmann merger was classified as. And this one is one of the more common ones because it has the most blatant effect in increasing the market share of the companies. and it combines two companies that operate within the same industry and sell the same product to the same market. This is the kind of merger that the Vodafone Mannesmann merger was.
The Vodafone merger with Maidman was one with many advantages, but many disadvantages too, towards the corporation and their stakeholders. Firstly, the pros. Vodafone is already the largest mobile phone group in the world, while Maidman was the biggest in Germany and one of the biggest in Europe. This large amount of pre-existing power between both corporations meant that the merger between them would immensely grow the market share and make them by far ahead of their competition, and that's exactly what happened. The new business's market value skyrocketed to almost 360 billion, making the new entity the fourth largest corporation in the world. Not only that, but the merger led to the creation of the world's largest mobile phone operator, with 42.3 million customers worldwide. There was also the advantage of synergy, where both entities used each other's expertise and resources to create the most extensive wireless coverage in all of Europe, which appealed to many new customers and therefore brought in a lot of profit. The company was not the only group to benefit from this merger. Another group that immensely benefited from this merger was the Maidvan shareholders, who received 58.964 stakes in exchange for each of their previous stakes in the previous Maidvan company, which gave them a 49.5% stake in the new, much larger and much more powerful company, which meant their stakes were of much higher value. There were also many cons to this merger. Firstly, this merger was extremely costly for Vodafone, where the deal was valued at approximately $180 million. But the biggest disadvantage was the conflicts and culture clashes. Firstly, this merger kind of took the form of a hostile takeover, where the merger proposal was essentially rejected by the board, but the newer proposal appealed to the shareholders, which led to the merger going through. This meant that the employees and management would probably be demoralized, and that was shown when the president of the workforce, Jürgen Ladberg, declared that the Mainzman workforce would do everything in their power to prevent a takeover. Secondly, the culture clashes. German companies like Mainzman have a culture of corporate governance, which is based on strong employee involvement and co-determination, which wasn't like the British culture of Vodafone. Finally, Vodafone had massive losses after one-off costs more than $23.5 billion connected to the Mainzman deal. The stakeholders also had many disadvantages. Competitors felt greatly threatened due to the potential of this merger monopolizing the market. Employees also felt threatened since Vodafone only needed the Mainzman's extremely profitable mobile phone division, which meant the other industrial divisions were getting sold. And that gave the threat of thousands of employees losing their jobs, which also undermined the co-determination culture of Mainzman, which would lead to further culture clashes. All in all, this merger was a very complex merger that turned from a basic offer to merge into a hostile takeover. Merger was with many advantages and disadvantages, but all in all, this merger was beneficial to Vodafone since we live in a capitalist corporate culture, which means that the most important thing is money and making more money. So growing and becoming the fourth largest company in terms of value and having the largest market share in its industry means that Vodafone's merger satisfies the main goal of this corporate culture that they are operating in. Even though that would mean that many parties, such as the employees who may lose their jobs and the competitors who may be forced to shut down if this merger ends up monopolizing the market, will get harmed. So yes, this merger was great for Vodafone in spite of the challenges and disadvantages, but this merger probably shouldn't have been approved by the government, and legal action should have been taken to stop it. Due to the potential of this new merged entity to operate as a monopoly, due to the potential of thousands of job losses, which should be protected by the government.